Oh, there's only four teams that have lost the last three games. Rotherham one, Leicester's another, and Bristol City are the other. 6 points sitting above the relegation zone, and things suddenly, from looking like a mid-table finish, and now got the Ashton Gate faithful a little bit worried. And to discuss all of that, we have our resident Robin, Sam. How are you, Sam?
I'm good, thank you, Mark, and yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. And we've got Twitter royalty Annie, who's here to give his view on what the terraces are saying about Liam Manning and this side. Let's start with you, Sam, then. It's never good to lose a derby, but to lose two in one season against the Bluebirds must hurt a little bit. Talk us through the game, please.
Yeah, definitely. Nothing hurts more than losing a derby. And like you said, twice in one season against Cardiff, just bad. I mean, Saturday's performance, they just didn't seem to put any care into the play at all.
Which is odd, isn't it? Because we've talked about you beating Southampton and beating Middlesbrough, and ever since you've done that, you've then gone and lost to bottom of the side table, and then Cardiff, who are in no form whatsoever going into that game. Annie, what was your perspective of it all?
Very similar. Just didn't feel like there was anything in the game in particular. Thought it was two very even sides, but it's just you can't lose a derby game from a set piece like that, especially when you know Cardiff are quite good on set pieces and you should be marking their quite good aerial threats. I thought we lacked a lot of energy in our play, and it's just very disappointing, especially on Derby Day.
Yeah, and Perry NG is not the tallest person on the pitch by any means. How does that happen for the second time, where the smallest players on the pitch manages to score against you, Sam?
Yeah, he's got a habit of it. I was watching him for the 90 minutes on Saturday, and he was constantly winding the Bristol City players up. And when we went away to Cardiff, like you said, he scored a header again. Done exactly the same this Saturday, but he had a bit of passion, and that's what we're lacking in our players at the moment.
Okay. Every year, Annie, there's a team that goes on a terrible run, can't find a win for Toffee, and finds themselves being sucked into a relegation dogfight when they've been quite comfortable all season. Now, there's about 10 teams that could be levelled at. Is there any talk on the terraces that you there's a fear of being sucked into this dogfight?
Yes and no, because obviously the points tally between us and 22nd doesn't look good at the moment, but there's so much traffic in between us and the bottom. But we're top of the bottom half. We shouldn't be anywhere near talking about relegation. We should be absolutely fine. We should be thinking of our top half and finishing there. But unfortunately for us at the moment, QPR, Sheffield Wednesday in particular, such good form. We just cannot get away from that. I would say yes, in the way of we don't want to be dragged into it, because it doesn't, as Sam said, there's no real. It doesn't feel like there's an attitude from our players of they want to fight and they want to get out of this. But also no, because I think we do have sufficient quality within our side to go and win a couple of games and be inconsistent enough to not be in that relegation battle.
Okay. Liam, the fans seem to, Sam, the fans seem to be divided on Manning. One half I've read says get rid of him now. He's no better than what you had before with Pearson. The other half is saying there's no point in sacking him now. He's not. These aren't his players. He needs a summer. Give him a summer. Give him a year, and let's see what he can do. Which side of the fence do you sit on?
I'm undecided at the moment. I'm 50-50 on him. We have seen some improvement in the style of football, but when you look at the last 11 games, 33 points available, we took 10. That's not good enough really for any manager. Maybe once he's had a summer transfer window and we've got the two lads he's already signed, Josh Stokes and Max Bird coming in, and plus we need a new striker, maybe it might change, but it's you can't see it at the moment.
Okay. Annie, what's your take on it?
I'm very much on Manning. I'm very much trusting him in the situation. I think it'd be suicidal for us to go and sack him and try and find someone else who's going to try and get results instantly, because I don't really think that's necessary at the moment. I think it's all just about getting the ideas across and style of play and building that. And I think there's also an argument within the fan base that maybe the players' ability is just not there in terms of able to cope with this new style of play, and maybe this is just Nigel Pearson's squad and not equipped enough technically to play this kind of possession-based style of football because we just can't move the ball at pace. So yeah, I understand the criticism, and I'll criticise Manning. I don't think any manager is exempt from criticism, not even Pep or Jurgen Klopp. But I think it's way too far to want someone out, want someone sacked, was 3 months into a job, who has inherited a squad that's a mess, in my opinion, in terms of balance. There's a real lack of star quality, a real lack of reinvestment after the Alex Scott debacle in the summer. So I think at the moment, it just needs to trust Manning, give him the summer transfer window, and hopefully his good coaching abilities can come through, and we have a much better footballing side next year.
Yeah, I mean, just on that Pearson, it's Pearson's team though, Annie. Do you not think that he's trying to play a system and tactics that these players just can't cope with? Isn't he better just sticking with Pearson's model of football, which wasn't pretty, but it was effective for large parts of the early season?
Well, that is a very valid point, but I don't think Manning operates in that way. I don't think he's willing to be that flexible. I think he's willing to be flexible and a little bit adaptable, but I don't think he's willing to completely change his style of play. I do think the squad at the moment is better suited to counter-attacking football, as shown in probably the Nigel Pearson time here. But we're without Sam Bell, so we've lost a lot of pace in the side. We're desperately missing Scott Twine. I think that's quite evident. It's not all on Scott Twine because he has only played one game, but the ability to break teams down is just not there. So yes, we probably are at the moment more suited to playing this counter-attacking style of play, but it's just not what Manning wants. Maybe we'll do that against Leicester, and that worked against Southampton where we had 29% possession, I think, and we counter-attacked and we smashed them. That might work against a Leicester or a Leeds, or Ipswich tomorrow. We don't know, but it's not the way Manning wants to play, and I don't think he's willing to be that flexible.
Okay. All right, let's bring in our Swansea fan, because the last thing you probably want at this moment in time, lads, is another derby. But here come the Swans, and these Swans have found their wings again. Good evening, Richard. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, had a nice bit of a weekend.
This fixture usually ends in a draw at Ashton Gate. In fact, Bristol City haven't beaten Swansea in the last 5 meetings at Ashton Gate, not since 2019. A couple of wins in the cup. But Richard, what do you make of Bristol City? Because they clipped your wings in the reverse fixture this back in September. What do you make of them since?
Well, I'll start with really that Bristol City is always a really hard game to face, to be honest, anyway. It is like a derby. It's only a couple of goals ever in these games. It's 1 or 2-0 or a draw or whatever. But we have started to pick up and they're desperate for a win. So it's going to be a really interesting game. But they're on a bit of a bad run. But a lot of teams are. And you can see how close the league is. 6 points, 10 teams. There's not much in this league at all at the moment. I think he who turns up in a day at the moment seems to be the one who gets the points. So I think you're going to have to be at your best.
Okay. Sam, you won't want your derby next year being Bristol Rovers. So this is an important one for you to win. Do you think you can get the 3 points over this resurgent Swansea side?
I wouldn't mind a Bristol derby if they got promoted, but I certainly don't want to be playing down in League One again. But I got a feeling, we got to win sometime, haven't we? And I think we will pull off a 1-0 win against Swansea.
Okay. Annie, what are your score predictions?
I think a lot of it is dependent on tomorrow. It's far less significant tomorrow, yeah, away at Ipswich. But if we do expectedly get nothing there, this is massive circle. We have to win this, and that's no disrespect to Swansea or in any way, shape, or form. It's just for our season, we need to win this and stop that rot. I reckon we might. I'll go 2-1 Bristol City.
Okay. What do you reckon then, Richard? If you do win, then you'll go ahead of Bristol City. Results dependent, obviously, in the week.
Yeah, it's a big thing with a double game week. What kind of results you get, but I fancy us to carry on the momentum this week and maybe get about 4 points from the 2 games.
Okay.
I think we will get a draw on the weekend against Bristol City. I think a 1-1 would be thing for us.
Okay, nice one. All right, thank you very much for joining us, Richard. Sam, could you mind just giving us your February Player of the Month before we finish?
Yeah, well, the club give the official Player of the Month to Rob Dickey. I find it hard to pick a Player of the Month at the moment I was playing. So can I pick the fans?
You can pick the fans. Why not? Absolutely.
Having to put up with watching it at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Annie?
I agree with the club. I'll go with Rob Dickey as well. I think he's been really good. Probably our most consistent performer over this pretty inconsistent month.
All right, nice one. If you're a Bristol City fan and haven't yet subscribed, please do so. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers this week. We are that close to it. So if you can help us push over the line, that would be great. And we'll be with Sam and Annie and lots of different guest fans as we go through the next very nervous 8 games, I'm sure, for lots of different clubs. But I'm sure Bristol City will be fine. There's no way Bristol City can go down. I think.
Be surprised.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Cheers, fellas. Thanks for joining us. See you next.
All right. Take care, mate.
Nice one. Thank you.